Good evening, everybody. What's going on? This is another day, another Tuesday that the Lord has made, and we are gratefully rejoicing and we are glad in it. I'm so excited and delighted to have you with us on tonight. You already know what we're going to ask you to do. We're going to ask you to like, we're going to ask you to share this greater intelligence masterclass on tonight. If you love teaching, if you love intelligence, I promise you this is the place you want to be. This is the place that you want to invite someone else to be a part of. So I want you to like, share, tag, text someone, let them know that they're getting ready to be blessed by another powerful teaching. I'm telling you, this master class has been such an amazing journey for me. Thank you so much for the feedback that you've been giving us as it relates to this greater intelligence that you are receiving. Last month, we were focusing on personal intelligence, getting to know more about ourselves. And this month, we've been focusing on relationship intelligence. We're in various relationships in our lives, and we're going to kind of unpack that for the next couple of weeks. Last week we focused on relationships. What's relationships? Those are relationships with people that you are related to. I'm telling you, that's a whole different dynamic when you're related to someone. I'm telling you, there's personalities that that begin to clash, and you need to know more about. I don't have time to go over it all. You want to go back and catch that on the rewind, especially on YouTube. It's a lot easier to find. But let us know that you're here. Many of us are on spring break, so we know children. Many of you are traveling, so you may be watching this from another destination. But we're certainly excited and delighted to have you on with us tonight. Let us know that you are watching. I want to go right into this time of teaching on today. This is, again, it's a master class. It's not really a Bible study, if you will, but however, we use biblical principles. I'm a pastor, and I don't run away from that. But we know that many of us, we learn more when we broaden our perspective. And so, but everything that I do in my life is built on a biblical principle. So even if you're not saved or active in church, God's word is still premier in the lives of God's people. And so I'm excited that you are embracing this journey with us on tonight. So there's a word, a scripture rather, that I want to share with you on tonight to kind of help us to focus on where we're going to be headed tonight. Let's go to the book of Proverbs chapter 12. Proverbs chapter 12, verse number 26. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26 says this: the righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. I want to focus on the A clause of this verse, very powerful verse. It says, the righteous choose their friends very carefully. Yeah. So tonight I want to talk about friendship intelligence. Yes, friendship intelligence. There's a statement that says that you cannot choose your family, but you can choose your friends. Friends are important. Friends, choosing a friend is something that you and I should not take lightly. To call someone a friend, to call someone a confidant, to call someone a friend is a title that we should not give to people very loosely. And I want to suggest that if you are calling someone a friend, again, you can't pick your family, but you can pick. And the Bible says that we must choose our friends wisely. So what is a friend? How does one qualify rather, to be a friend? I want to suggest in this master class that when you are choosing a friend, when you are looking to someone to be their friends, I believe that you must look at them and these various qualifications. Come on, let's go. Friends, if a person is to be a friend, here's the first thing you want to know: friends sharpen. Your friend sharpen. There's another proverb that says, iron sharpens iron. So if you are looking for someone to be their friend, if you're trying to see if this person fits in the friend category, first thing you need to ask yourself, and you need to ask yourself, even for someone who you call a friend now, because perhaps once you gain greater intelligence of what a friend is, I'm afraid that some people in your life may have to move or transition from the friends category. Maybe they just might have to be a part of the acquaintance category. Listen, I'm not here to try to break up any friendships. I promise you I'm not. But I'm here to tell you that friends are people who sharpen you. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. So if a person is my friend, that means they sharpen me. They make me better. To be sharpened, you really don't embrace or appreciate being sharpened until you're dull. Yeah, that's why they have a pencil sharpener. When a pencil needs to be sharpened when it's new or has been used. And so what's attractive for me, for someone to be my friend, is, do they sharpen me? Are they smarter than me in aspects of my life? What draws someone to be their friend is not that they know as much as me in everything in my life, but what draws them for me, that I want to be their friend or would love for them to be my friend, is that they sharpen me. When I have conversations with them, I'm enlightened. I feel like I've learned something. You got people in your life that, man, every time I talk to you, I learn something. Every time I talk to you, I gain knowledge. Every time I talk to you, I get less dull. You don't want to hang around people. You don't want people in your life that make you dull. You know, friends in many cases are closer than family members. Friends are people you hang out with. Friends are people you go shopping with. Friends are people you go to the movies with. Friends are people you go to the mall with. Friends are people you do life with. So if I'm going to do life with someone, if I'm going to hang out with someone, one of the qualifications that they should have is they should sharpen me. Am I made better because they're around me? Because I believe that you ultimately become the sum of your circle. If you've been a part, hung around me any length of time, if you are a member of my church, you've heard me say that you ultimately become the sum of your circle. So that means that if you're hanging around someone that never sharpens you, never enlightens you, never educates you, never make you feel like you ought to read a book. You never make you feel like you ought to learn something different. Never make you feel dumb at times. Then maybe, just maybe, that person should not be your friend, because friends sharpen. I want you to think about those that you call friends now, and I want you to ask yourself this question. Now, let me say this in the onset, that your friends may not fit every one of these categories that we're going to talk about tonight, but I want to suggest that if they are your friend, they probably should check most of the boxes, because again, friends are people in your life that you give this title to. This is not something that God says. God chooses your family. We get to choose our friends. So, does this person sharpen me? Am I smarter because they're in my circle? I want you to ponder that for a moment. I don't want to rush through that. I want you to really think about this. Is the person that I call my friend, do they make me better? But then secondly, I want you to think about this. Friends sharpen, but here it is. Friends, it's simple. Simple outline tonight. Simple thought. Simple things I want you to wrap your mind about. Friends support. Man, friends provide a support system. Man, as we grow older, we need support. as we begin to get involved in relationships, as we begin to get involved in having children, as we begin to endeavor into new adventures in life, we need support as we make important decisions of where should I work, or who should I date, or where should I live, or what should I do, or I'm getting ready to make a major decision in my life. I'm thinking about going back to school. I'm thinking about starting a new career. I'm thinking about starting a business. I'm thinking about launching out into the deep. Is the persons or people whom I've labeled or called friends, do they support me? Do they really step in when I need them the most? The person you call your friend, are you able to call them for support? When you need someone to watch your children, maybe you just want to relax, or maybe you have to something important to do that maybe children can't be in that environment. Do you have a support system? That support system is made up of not just family, but they're made up of people who are called my friend. If I'm ever in need of any type of support, it doesn't have to be financial support, but it can be spiritual support, emotional support, psychological support. Are the people in my life that I've given the title of friend, when I need help, can I go to them? Who are the people in my circle? Are they supporting me? Man, that's important, because friends should support you. Yeah, friends should be there for you when you need them the most. Do you have somebody in your life that is there for you when your back is against the wall, when you lose a loved one, when things don't go your way? Is that person there to build you up, or is that person there tearing you down? Is that person in your life to compliment you, or is that person in your life there to really make you feel dejected and rejected? Do you have people in your life that genuinely support you? We all need friends. We all need a support system. God does not want us to live life alone. God does not want us to live in isolation alone. God developed this thing called friends because we all need people in our lives who can be there for us when we are unable to be there for ourselves. I want you to grow great. I want you to think about this for a moment. Am I there for them and they're never there for me? I want to ask you this question. Do the people you support you? Oh, this is going to be tough. This is great intelligence. You got to do your homework. Are the people you support, do they support you? Do they publicly support you? Or do they privately support you? You see, I discovered it's hard for people to support you publicly when they've been dogging you privately. Just because they smile in your face doesn't mean they support you. Just because they applaud you in your face doesn't mean they support you. Is their support public support? Friends, sometimes people come in your life and say, girl, they said such and such about you. And the question is, I know what they said, but what did you say? If you just sat there and listened, that means you didn't support me, because support is not silent. Support speaks up. Support is present. Support is public. Support is in proximity of being acknowledged. When someone supports you, it should not be a secret that they support you. We think about support when we think about political parties and political figures. They give you all types of bumper stickers and yard signs and t-shirts to show your sign of support. If you're going to support me, let it be known that you support me. I don't need silent supporters. I need people in my life that speak up. Why? Because support shows up. Support is seen. Support does not remain silent. Don't tell me privately or pull me to the side and try to convince me that you support me. No, support me with your presence. Support me with your voice. Support me with your attitude. Support me with your substance. Support me. Support should be seen. Support should never be silent. I've got to make sure that I have greater intelligence in the area of my friends. Number one, I got to know, are they sharpening me? Number two, I've got to make sure they're supporting me. Now, get this, because don't get it twisted. Get ready to give you this third principle, because you've got to understand and recognize the level of support that you need. You need what I call genuine support, authentic support. You need support that's there for you when you need it the most. You don't need yes people in your life. Yes people is not always a sign of support, which leads me to this third thought that you need to understand and recognize. Friends know how to stop. Friends stop. Yeah, what does that mean? The same friend that supports you can also be the same friend that stops you. Teach, Pastor. Oh, you better teach. I think I will. Friends not only support, but good friends, real friends, know how and when to stop. Because guess what? We don't always do everything right. We're not always thinking clearly. We're not always thinking godly. We're not always thinking in our right minds. We're not always prone to making the best decisions. We need people in our lives that's willing to tell us to stop. We need people in our lives to tell us, don't do that. That's crazy. You see, this is where friends tend to fall out, because we've been accustomed to believing that friends should always support. No. Sometimes my greatest support for you is telling you to stop. Sometimes stop is not always no. Sometimes it's stop and think about it. Stop and reconsider. Stop and evaluate. Stop and regroup. Do you have people in your life that love you enough to tell you you might want to stop? Yeah. Do you have people in your life? If you are unhealthy and you used to be a certain way, a certain size, I'm getting touchy now, and you've kind of, COVID, you know what I'm saying. You kind of, you kind of got a little healthy. Have you had friends that say, hey man, you gained a few pounds. You might want to back away from the table a little bit. You getting a little too, yeah. Because the Bible even tells us, I know it's offensive, I know it may hurt, but the Bible tells us that we must learn how to speak the truth in love. Paul says in one of his writings, have I become your enemy Because I tell you the truth, sometimes what breaks up powerful friendships is when people are unable to handle the truth. But real friends know when to tell you to stop. Real friends know and love you enough is when they see you going down a dangerous, a dark path, they say, you know what? Hey, bro. Hey, sis, stop. When they see you about to mess up something, mess up a good thing, maybe. See, if you are married and a group of your friends go out with you and they see that you are getting ready to get involved in something that you should not be involved in as a married individual, you need somebody in your life to say, hey, you better stop that. You married. That's not how married men act. That's not how married women act. You don't need people in your life that will cause you to blow the very thing that God has blessed you with. Do you have people in your life? It's not just about having people, it's about having the right people. Do you have people in your life that'll just sit there and watch you spin and spin and spin, knowing that you shouldn't be spending the way you're spending? Do you have anybody in your life say, girl, put that dress down? You got a dress that look like that already. You haven't worn a dress you bought last time we came to the mall. Stop it. Do you have people in your life that see you making unnecessary decisions and love you enough to tell you to stop? Or are you the type of person that only hang around people that will tell you yes? You don't just need cheerleaders. You don't just need fans. You need people who will be faithful. And the people that are faithful to you are the people that love you enough to tell you enough is enough. It's time to stop it. You're better than that. You shouldn't be doing that. That's not right. That's not healthy for you. That's not good for you financially. Because real friends know when to say stop. When was the last time somebody threw the stop sign up at you? Because at some point you got to stop. Hey, I know you got a goal, but you might want to stop. Slow down. You're working too much. It's different between working too hard and working too much. Yeah, you got to work hard in life. But sometimes, even in the midst of working hard, we got to stop, take a break, chill out for a moment, take a day off, take a few hours off, back away from that, regroup, refocus. Do you have people in your life that are willing to tell you to stop? We want the support, yeah, but support is also a part of someone telling me to stop. This is good. This is good. This is some good information. You gotta think about this. Because if not, then you say, girl, why did you allow me to do that? You knew that was crazy. Don't talk about me. That was a phrase that I had, and I know Sister Rita's watching, and she remembers this. There's a phrase that I had when I came to Zion 12 years ago, and I said this: don't talk about me, talk to me. Real friends don't have to talk about you. Real friends, because they have access, are supposed to talk to you. But here it is. The Bible also says, he who has friends must show himself to be friendly. You have to be the person that can be taught to. Teach, pastor. You can't be the friend, or you can't be or have friends if you are not designed to be friendly. If nobody is able to tell you anything, then you don't make to be a good friend. Because good friends have to be able to tell you the good and the bad, the happy and the sad. Good friends tell you not just what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Do you have people in your life that's willing to tell you to stop? But then one more, then we're gonna talk about this friendship. I'm talking about this how if you were choosing friends, and maybe you ought to unchoose some friends. If you were choosing friends, if you were in the friend making area in your life, the categories are: do they sharpen me? Do they support me? Do they stop me? But real friends are stable. Friends are friends because of stability. Stability means that they are with you in all aspects and facets of your life. Anybody can have friends when the sun is shining. Anybody can have friends when things are going well. Anybody can have friends when you're the one doing all the pain. Anybody can have friends when you're doing all of the treating. But real friends are stable. What moves a person from the acquaintance category to a friend category is when they become stable, thick and thin, good and bad, up or down. Stability is what friendships are built on. And many times we never know if we have a friend or a friend of me. That's a new word. A friend of me. That's a friend that's really an enemy, but the enemy is an enemy that's disguised in friend clothing. Sometimes you don't understand if you have a friend or a friend of me until the chips get down, until the clouds turn gray, until the good days turn into bad days, until the well days turn into sick days, until the rich days turn into not so rich days. That's when you discover if I have a real friend or not, because real friends are stable. I want you to check the record. When you were down, when you were crying, when you were hurting, when you were sick, when you were in need, who was there for you? Because some of us have friends in our lives that we haven't fully identified as a friend. Because friends are there when you need them the most. Friends are stable. Friends don't even walk away when you mess up. They give you grace and room to correct. They don't just walk away. People say, "Oh, it passes as long as you up. I'm with you." No, I need people more to be with me when I'm down. I need friends in my life that's willing to lift me back up again. I don't even need a whole lot of friends when I'm right, when I'm up. When things are going well, I need people in my life that are stable. They help me and keep me stabilized. Because real friends are stable, man. They keep you from falling off the cliff. They keep you from drifting. They keep you from losing your mind. They keep you stable. They keep you strong. So when you look at those categories, you ask yourself, how many friends do I really have? Or do I need to move this person from the friends category to the acquaintance category, or to the coworker category, or to the church member category, or to just someone I know? It's interesting because in social media, they use the word friend and people get and ask, or you get to choose, or people get to invite themselves in your life as friends. And many of us know we got 5,000 friends and still lonely, because a friend on social media is not necessarily a friend in life. And many of us know what it feels like to know when you have a true friend, because friends are stable. So if you're in the friend making category, if you got some friends, you're looking for some friends, make sure they sharpen you. Make sure they support you. Make sure they know when to tell you to stop. And make sure they're stable, because we don't hold you long in greater intelligence. I want to also ask this question, because the question then becomes, if I have a friend, should we remain friends? How do I know if this is a friend for a season or this is a friend for life? Teach, pastor. How do I know if I've labeled someone as a friend? If I have them in the friend category, how do I know, is this a friend for life? Should we remain friends? I want to say you figure that out in asking yourself 3 questions. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. All right, you ready for the 3 questions? We're gonna give you these 3 questions, and we're gonna log off for the night. 3 questions. Number 1, am I greater because of our friendship? Am I greater? Am I greater because of our friendship? Am I greater? Am I gaining, or are they just getting from me? Am I gaining from them, or are they just getting from me? Friendships have to be reciprocal. Am I a greater person because of our friendship? When that person came in my life, or now that they're in my life, have I gotten better or am I getting worse? Because let me tell you something. Friends have, in most cases, maybe besides a spouse, have the biggest influence on your life. You're never the same when you get into this relationship of friendship. You're never the same. You're going to go up or you're going to go down. So if they're sharpening me, that means I should be gaining. What am I gaining from this relationship? It's not just somebody I talk. I can talk to anybody, but I'm labeling this person my friend. Am I greater because of our friendship? Am I gaining or are they just getting? Am I going places because of our friendship? Has my friendship with this person gotten me anywhere? Am I further along in life because of their advice, because of their friendship, because of their prayers for me, because of their support for me? Or am I just status quo? Am I no longer better? Because if this person has influence over my life, that means they're spending time in my life. And I teach this, I taught it Sunday, that time is the most precious commodity that you and I have. So if I'm spending time with an individual and therefore that person is having influence over my life, then I've got to ask myself, am I greater because of it? And if I haven't gotten any greater because of it, then I may need to remove them from the friend category because I'm too old to spend time with people and I gain nothing from it. My God. So if you're friends with someone and you say, man, before I met them, I was on my way I was doing good things, and I was loving God, and I was career oriented, and I was focused, but now that we're friends, I'm partying and I'm doing all types of things. I have no zeal, I have no desire. I'm living a mediocre life. I'm not even striving for anything, and I'm spending more than I've ever spent. I'm making dumb decisions. I'm not even myself. I'm losing my mind. I'm getting whatever it is. Maybe that person doesn't need to be your friend. They're having a negative influence over your life. You gotta ask yourself, am I graded because of our friendship? Then secondly, you gotta ask yourself, would I miss you if you were gone? Should we remain friends? You know what? If you were out of my life, would I even miss you? If we didn't talk for months at a time, would I realize, is there a void left? If you moved away, if you had to pack your bags and leave, would I even miss you? We're friends, but would I even miss you? If you suddenly passed away, would there be a void left? Because God doesn't necessarily mean death. It could mean death, but they just move on. Is there a void that's there? Is there an empty space in my life because of this? And if the answer is no, then that means that this person may not be your friend. This person may not be your friend because you ought to miss them when you don't talk. There ought to be something missing in your life. This is my friend. I need this person in my life. If they had to move away, would I be hurt? There's friendships in the Bible. I'm going to give you one. Ruth chapter 1. Naomi and Ruth. Listen, we're talking about leaving. And she said, I got to go. And she said, no, girl, we friends. Where you go, I go. And where you stay, I'm going to stay. No, we friends. I know you got to go, but listen, I'm going too. I know you got to move away. I may not move away with you, but I got a place of vacation. You going to see me. Oh, I got a hangout spot. If you moving to California, I know where I'm going this summer. I know where I'm taking my vacation, some of my vacation time. Because we friends. I need you in my life. I can't easily replace that void. A real friend is hard to replace. Will I miss you if you were gone? Will I miss our talks? Will I miss your advice? Will I miss the company? If the answer is no, then they're probably not your friend. Because real friends leave an empty space when they're not around. Friends are people that when you need something, the first person you think about calling is a friend. And if they're not there to answer the phone, it does something to you. That's a friend, y'all. If you don't have that type of person, if the people around you that's around you and you don't feel this way about many of them, you gotta get them out that friend zone. They're not your friends. If you can't go to them for some serious advice, if you're having issues and you're having a struggle and you're having just something's not right in your life and you don't feel comfortable talking to them about it, they're not your friend. That's just somebody you have their number. That's just a coworker. If they left, if you moved on to another job, would you still call them? Would you still hang out with them? Because many of us are in relationships of convenience. Teach, Pastor, I'm trying. Many of us are in relationships of convenience. We work together, so we're just friends. No, really, you're just two lunch buddies. Because you don't really associate outside of the job. Don't even call each other outside the job. But you label that person your friend. See, what I'm trying to get you to understand in this greater intelligence is that we use the word friend loosely. And what you're going to discover is this: when you gain greater intelligence on what friendships really is, then you will understand you probably don't have that many friends. Got a lot of people you know, got a lot of people phone number, got a lot of people Facebook profiles, but you don't have a lot of friends. Not if you don't miss them, if they're gone. And they weren't your friend. It's just somebody you knew. Many of us label people friends on Facebook and social media, and we see them in person. We have no idea who they are. You dialogue with them, you check their posts, you comment on their posts, you share their posts, and you saw them in person, and you have no idea who they are. Because they weren't your friend. They were your friends in social media land. Here's the last thing, and I'm done. Have you outgrown the friendship? Here's where things get tough. Because if we're honest with ourselves, many of us are in friendships that we're outgrown. And it's okay to outgrow friendships. Some friendships are simply seasonal. Some friendships are for a lifetime. You've got to be willing to have intelligence on which one it is. Some friendships were built for your now. Other friendships were built for your now and your next. But if you desire a next and the person that you're friends with won't support it or don't want it for themselves, then there may come a time in your life that you discover, I've just outgrown this friendship. It's not you, it's me. I've outgrown it. You cannot try to force fit yourself in friendships that you've outgrown. You owe it to yourself not to smother yourself. You owe it to yourself not to cut off the circulation of your growth trying to remain friends with someone because you knew them in elementary school. If you were friends with someone while you were in the world and you no longer desire the things of the world and you feel like this person is hindering your growth in Christ, you don't have to stop liking them. You don't even have to stop loving them, but you may have to stop being friends with them, especially if they're having an adverse effect on what you desire to do in life. Have you outgrown the friendship? And the reason and the way you can answer this question is this person stopping me from growing? Has my growth offended them? Have they gotten to a point in our friendship where they keep trying to remind me that I've changed? And stop trying to make excuses for you changing. You don't have to make an excuse about how you change. You ought to respond, and you have not. We've all changed. We all change. We have to embrace the change. And when we change and the person that we're friends with have no desire to change, then we've got to change the friendship. I got to change. I got to put you in. We were once friends. We're not enemies. We're just no longer friends like we were. We may hang out every now and then. We may check up on each other every now and then, but we're not friends like we once were. And that's okay. Doesn't make you any greater or less than somebody else. It makes you have intelligence as to who you want to be in life. You gotta have the greater intelligence on you. You gotta know who you want to be. Because I gotta ask myself, if I feel like I've grown, we can't remain friends. Has nothing to do with me being overly spiritual, overly saved. It has nothing to do with me thinking that I'm arrogant or I'm all that. It's not that. It's simply that I've outgrown it. And it's okay to outgrow a friendship. It's okay. It's okay. It is what it is. My time is up in this greater intelligence lesson tonight on friendships. But I wanted to give you enough to make you think tonight. As I'm choosing my friends, or as I'm, especially for our young people, you can teach these principles to your children, your grandchildren. It's how you form your friends. Yeah. Number one, if they're gonna be my friend, I gotta realize, do they sharpen me? Do they support me? Do they support what I want to do? My dreams, my goals, my aspirations. Do they know when to tell me to stop? Are they stable? Are they willing to be there for me when I'm right and when I'm wrong? And not to support me in my wrongness, but to be there to get me back right again. And if I have some friends that's been my friends for a while, it's time for me to evaluate this. How do I evaluate it? Should we remain friends? Should we remain close friends? Should you be my ride and die? Is this friendship seasonal? Here's how I ask it. Am I growing? Am I greater? This is a season for greater. You ought to be greater because of the friendship. Am I better? Am I made better because of this friendship? Will I miss you if you were gone? If you had to move away, left the job, or even unfortunately passed away, would I really miss you? Would that thing hurt me? Am I willing to get on a plane just to spend some time with you? Am I willing to talk a long time with you? Because I can't afford for you to be out of my life. And then lastly, have I outgrown it? Has my growth offended you? Has it negatively affected you? Are you always trying to tell me I'm acting funny because I'm not the same woman in my 50s that I was in my teens? I'm not the same person I was as a saved person than when I wasn't saved, because I'm not the same in my maturity level than I was in my adolescent level. Has that offended you? If it's offended you, that means I probably outgrown it. And once I gain these greater this intelligence in these areas of my life, then I can have meaningful, formable, and life lasting friendships for the rest of my days. If this lesson tonight has blessed you, let me know in the comment section that it's blessed you. And if it's blessed you, like it, share it with your friends, your family members, the people that you love the most. As always, in this masterclass, we invite you to sow in what it is God is doing for us here at the Zion Church. We really don't put a lot of pressure on the sowing, but we do ask that you will sow into the kingdom of God and what he's doing in the life of our ministry. All of the ways of giving is on your screen right now. We encourage you to be a part of the great things God is doing in the life of our church. Listen, we're inviting you to be a part of the Zion Church. If you don't have anywhere to worship, man, I invite you to join us in the place we call Zion. I'm telling you, God is doing some great things in the life of our church, and you ought to want to be a part of it. Be my guest every single Sunday at 9 a.m. There's various ways you can join us. You can join us inside the sanctuary. You can go on the outside, or you can simply pull up and praise with us. You can also join us online as well. Man, we're dealing with greater wealth all this month, and I can't wait to share a word of God with you. I've been teaching all month. We're gonna do some preaching on Sunday. I cannot wait. Listen, if you're watching this, there's not going to be any lunchtime in the Lord live. We're going to be virtual tomorrow. So if you want to watch us there, you certainly can. But we love to have you catch us in person on next Wednesday. Listen, I love you guys. May God continue to bless you and keep you is our prayer. Gain greater intelligence in all aspects of your life. Because why? The more you know, the further you'll go. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.